This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What is going on? It is Friday. Yeah, I'm excited about this weekend. I got to be honest with everybody. You know, it's 4th of July weekend. To me, that always kind of feels like really the start of what's going to be a great summer. You know, I haven't even been to the fair not one time this entire summer, and I guess I'm not going to make it, although I've dealt with the traffic plenty. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited about 4th of July weekend. I hope everybody out there has a great weekend upcoming, but let's spend a couple hours together here. So anybody listening on radio on 1090, glad you guys are here. For those of you that are on YouTube, get involved in our chat. Man, the chat's been on fire the last couple of days. You know, make sure you comment down below, like, subscribe, do all the things that we ask you to do if you can, because it all helps out the show on YouTube. Audio podcasters, you can be out this weekend, taking a walk on the beach, taking a cruise, be listening, catching up. Make sure you contact us on Twitter at Kaplan and Crew, or on Instagram, or on Facebook, whatever. And for those of you that will watch us tonight on television, hang out with us tonight, 7, 8 p.m. Although we're going to have a really, really hard time competing for eyeballs when you consider it's Padres, Dodgers game 2 tonight on TV. So just DVR it. We get it. Grande, Brown Man, crazy day yesterday. In the middle of the day, we got the whole USC, UCLA rumors. But by the end of the day, USC and UCLA were putting out press releases that they're taking off for the Big Ten. And immediately, just like we all thought, well, what does that mean for San Diego State? Of course, San Diego State is saying publicly, we're surveying and analyzing and trying to figure out what's best for us now. So
Stop it.
What do you mean stop it?
Stop
What
it.
do you mean?
That's a lie. They're lying. No one's going to be upset with them. Just go, yeah, we're trying to get in that Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever it's down to, we won't in.
I think the rumor that is exciting me the most as a college sports fan is the union of the Big 12 and Pac-12. What terrifies me the most as a San Diego State fan is the union of the Big 12 and the Pac-12 conferences. That you can get left out real quick if you don't act quickly. So
yes,
Big 12 and the Pac-12, that's kind of the rumor that, you know, that's what's going to happen.
We are on our way to 3, unless people mess around. I think the ACC is going to merge or split personally. And I think that the Pac-12, because they're so obviously far west, and the Big 12, the schools down in Texas and kind of Midwest, it just makes sense. You know, when you look at a map of schools, it just makes sense. Now, if you look at that map, there's a glaring hole in Southern California. There's not one single Southern California team in that proposed union, I should say. But if I'm a college sports fan, I mean, I've already accepted power conferences are coming. That's what it is. Just going to be 3, maybe 4 power major conferences, and then everybody else. That's what. But as a San Diego State fan, I am petrified that they're going to get left out.
But wait, just one more time. The rumor is what because I didn't hear about this one. Because like yesterday, my immediate thought was, you know, other schools will jump ship. You're saying that the rumor is that the Big 12 and the Pac-12 will like somehow come together?
I mean, you have 20 teams remaining. I'll just pull this up. I saw this.
Yeah.
So
go ahead. Brian.
Obviously, USC and UCLA are going to the Big Ten. The Pac-10 or 12, whatever it is, will add 2 teams, and then they will basically have like a marriage, so to speak, because they're obviously partners through the Rose Bowl. So my concern, I only care about one thing in this entire. That's hilarious.
All right, wait. Finish your thought, Browner. You only care about one thing, and then I got to talk about this map that we're looking at here.
I only care about one thing, dude.
Go ahead.
If San Diego State doesn't get in the Pac-12, stop the school sports because they'll be irrelevant. Just play basketball. Do not play football anymore. It will be pointless to cover it. It will be pointless to give out scholarships.
That's it really kind of sucks considering they just spent, you know,
$300 million.
A lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money on a brand new stadium. Well,
it'll be wasted.
Listen, it might be, but you know what? Listen, I'm telling you, thinking that San Diego State is going to immediately jump into the Pac-12, I just don't think it's really going to happen unless, because you know how yesterday it sort of came from out of left field, USC and UCLA were leaving, and it started as, is this true? It's a report. And then again, by the end of the day, it was actually really happening. Unless everybody was positioning behind the scenes because everybody knew, but that's a long time for something to not get out until the day it actually happens. So I wonder how many people in college sports were caught by surprise, or how many people like San Diego State, for example, already knew it was going to happen and have already started to position their way in. But you see, the thing is that if you go jumping into the Pac-12 like right away, it's probably a good thing because you know where you're going, but you're not positive who your partners are going to be. Because I got to tell you guys, I'm not so sure that everybody's going to stand pat. USC, UCLA leaves, and then Oregon and Washington and all these other schools go, well, our solution is San Diego State and Boise State. I don't think so. So I'm not sure.
So this is why I disagree with you. Washington to the Big Ten is not a draw. Oregon might be in the slightest.
Why is it not? Why is Washington not?
Because what does Washington, whether it be market size, school history, or education, offer the Big Ten that they don't already have?
No, they fit perfectly in the conference. They actually fit perfectly. Well, first of all, you get the Seattle television market, number one. So now you're expanding your brand to the West, and in this case, the Pacific Northwest. And secondly, Washington has a solid tradition of college football in particular. I mean, they've been a national championship team. Now it's been a long time. But in terms of that kind of school, Washington, Wisconsin, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, these schools all mesh nicely. I'm not sure what.
Washington is not in that class at all.
Oh,
not even in Wisconsin's class.
In what way?
What?
In football and in education?
In football and basketball. This is about football and basketball. And if you want to get to education, you can. But what does Washington have to offer you that you already don't have in Wisconsin and Indiana and Michigan State? Like, you already have these large markets. You don't need that one because you're getting Los Angeles.
I disagree. I totally disagree. Completely, listen, why would you not want Seattle? You don't want Seattle? Seattle's not a good market?
For what? For what? They have no basketball team. They have football is obviously great in Seattle, but outside of that, the Mariners don't draw. Like, they don't draw.
Yeah, but
there's no passion for Husky football.
Oh, I totally disagree. Totally disagree.
Okay.
I mean, listen, go look at their attendance figures.
Browner, why? I guess I'll ask it this way: why wouldn't you want it if it's an option?
Because at this point,
what's the negative?
Again, adding that, you're now diluting the product, because bringing in USC name, bringing in UCLA name, those are headline grabbing names.
But you're building power.
You don't need Washington to do that. I would argue you need, now if you were making this argument about Oregon, I'd be like, okay.
No, Oregon brings a lot to the table.
Right.
But I'm saying, but again, if you're the Big Ten and you're thinking about, will we expand and will we take on other Pac-12 schools? Washington and Oregon are probably the most attractive right off the bat. Oregon State, Washington State, Arizona, maybe for basketball, maybe Arizona, but like these other schools, Stanford, Cal, Washington, and Oregon. Now you control Southern California and the Pacific Northwest. And if you're the Big Ten, you've already owned the Midwest. You think you have a piece of the Eastern Seaboard because we talked about it yesterday. You've got Rutgers, which is sort of it's New Jersey, but they think they've got the TV market in New York. And you've got DC with Maryland, even though I don't think Maryland really fits in that conference anymore. Nonetheless, put the map back up, Alex. This is so fascinating. I love the fact that we all have so much passion for this story too.
My passion is solely focused on San Diego State in accordance to this.
All right, so what are we looking at here, Alex?
This is just what it would look like if the Pac-12 and the Big 12 merge into the Big 12, basically. And obviously, let me just ask you a question.
So University of Central Florida in Orlando, and Cincinnati. Granted, they had a great football season, but those two schools are joining the Big 12 because Texas and Oklahoma are leaving, right?
Right.
So just want to point this out. So what Central Florida and Cincinnati did was they went, well, we're in a bad conference. I think they were in Conference USA or something like that, or the American Atlantic Conference, AAC. Yeah. So what those two schools did is they went, well, we're the best football schools in this kind of crappy conference, and two powerhouses left a good conference. We can go join a power conference. The only issue is that Central Florida and Cincinnati joined a conference, but they're not quite sure who will remain in the conference with them. That's my only caution for San Diego State. It's going to be better to join the Pac-12 because it gets you up a notch. But then when Oregon and Washington, theoretically, Cal and Stanford leave, now you're left with no USC, no UCLA, no Cal, no Stanford, no Washington, no Oregon.
And the reason the reason I implore Pac-12, the reason I implore Big 12, like joining anyone, regardless of what they turn into, you don't get left behind. That's all that this is about. Don't get left behind. And if you don't join those and you get stuck in whatever the Mountain West turns into, when Boise joins the Big 12, if UCF joins the ACC and West Virginia goes to the ACC, so now they're looking for other schools and it's clearly going to be Boise. Like, you can't get left behind. I don't think they will. I think they're too attractive. As if we're talking about schools in the Mountain West when you're trying to get one, I think they're too attractive comparatively to all the other ones. Yes. But my point, Scott, is not really like the details are almost insignificant here for me. My biggest thing is don't get left behind.
Yes.
I think I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. I mean, look, remember how San Diego State so many years ago, this is how desperate San Diego State has been to attempt to try and join the big leagues. I mean, there was a time, I don't know, 15 years ago, they tried to join the Big East back in the day, way back in the day. And it was San Diego State, and I want to say it was Boise State that were combining they were the USC UCLA of their conference.
It was like, and it was like ridiculed because what do you mean San Diego State in the Big East? And now look.
Yeah, I know. Now I know. And I saw an article earlier today in the LA Times where they started to do the math on the amount of travel that USC and UCLA teams will have to do, the mileage, because Michigan will play Ohio State and Michigan will play Wisconsin and Michigan State will play Illinois and all these other, Big Ten schools that are kind of really close by. And USC and UCLA are going to be schlepping, a lot.
3-hour flights round trip every game.
Yeah. Yep.
Nobody cares about that.
My buddies were
that's a great article to write. No one cares.
No. They don't. Nobody cares because the TV money is such that, hey, the travel is going to be really exhausting. We don't care. Well,
they ain't got to do
it. Yeah, don't you want to win? Well, yeah, but I'm sure there are a lot of studies that explain West Coast football teams going into the Eastern time zone and playing at noon and what that means to the body and blah, blah, blah.
With technology and the way classes are given nowadays, you can get to wherever Michigan on
2
Thursday.
days ahead of time.
Yeah. You can.
Dude, I read on the press release that USC sent out. Mm-hmm. My mind was blown by the number of student athletes they have and how insignificant that number is compared to the actual class at USC. Like, people want to make that argument about what about the travel? What about the kids? What about their school and it's 500 people. It's 500 kids.
500 athletes?
500 athletes at USC.
Damn, that's all.
500.
Wait, so you got, call it 100 guys on the football team. And then after that, you got 30 guys on the baseball team.
15 on the basketball.
Yeah, 30 on the soccer. If they don't even think they have soccer for men.
And we're talking about, and if we start talking about scholarship athletes, that number completely gets cut in half almost.
And you know who doesn't care about that travel? The kids that are signing up to be part of that travel.
Exactly.
So when adults that aren't even at that school start arguing and making an argument about travel, you know who voluntarily went to USC to play softball? That girl that knew about the travel.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting that the travel is something that anybody cares about. I'm just suggesting that it will be analyzed.
It will be, there's no way it doesn't affect their performance. Like, we hear about it all the time when San Diego State has to go to Laramie. It's the only time they actually charter a flight because they don't want to, I don't know how many other basketball schools travel private. I know their football team does at San Diego State, but it's, you hear about it every time San Diego State has to go to Wyoming. You always hear about the travel.
But it's a talking point, so people can write articles and put excuses for why they may or may not lose within the performance. Like
but the geography makes it interesting, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean, you're talking about LA schools that now have to go to Michigan, which
but that's
is
the
something
appeal.
but they might do it once in a season, but now it's their conference opponents. So there's a lot.
But you know
Anyway,
what? You know when the school like sees that article and they rip it up and throw in the trash, because then you have game day on Saturday and there's 10,000 kids in front of the Coliseum at 7 in the morning because they're about to play Michigan on a random Saturday in September, because
it will change
they're gonna
everything for
because
USC.
USC and UCLA are gonna play all their home games when it's in the end of the season, when it's not cold in December and November. You know what I'm saying?
In
Like
prime
it's
time.
yeah.
Think about that though. Think about that. How all of a sudden you think about a home schedule. Okay. Instead of San Diego State playing against Wyoming in football or UNLV in football, think about how USC and UCLA, they're not playing Oregon State and Washington State, games that really people don't necessarily care that much about. But now all of a sudden it'll be Wisconsin and Michigan and all these other schools, Ohio State, Penn State. And you'll be like, and now look, don't get me wrong, when they play Rutgers, I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot of passion for that kind of game, or Maryland for that matter. But still, I think all of a sudden the schedule becomes so much more interesting.
I'm pretty sure they can negotiate that they don't have to play Rutgers for 5 years, or they don't have to play.
Well, they're
Maryland
not going to play
Maryland
everybody every year.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So that even that conversation of how far you have to go, that might be mute at that point. Again, my main concern out of all of this now, the door is open for San Diego State. If you work over there in that building and you do not get in the Pac-12, when this is whatever it's called, when the dust settles, everyone over there should be fired, because your program will be irrelevant.
Well, I think, Scott, yesterday I said, like San Diego State ghosted the JD Wicker stuff. I did talk to them today, and he will be on next week. Hopefully there's a little bit more clarity by the time we're done with the long weekend. But he went on the flagship station, and you don't go out and speak unless you got something to say. Like, there's no way they were blindsided by this. I mean, the fact that it got leaked at 10:30 in the morning and it was official by 5 p.m., it didn't just happen.
Right. No, that's my point. Yeah. I mean, USC and UCLA were not exactly shying away from it. Their sports information departments were putting out press releases within seconds of one another. I mean, it was all very choreographed what happened yesterday. So I'll tell you guys,
has 800 student athletes, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
800? I'll tell you, listen, Browner, I'm glad your point is well made. I mean, I say I'm glad that you're passionate about this, because I think you're right that San Diego State now has to figure out where's the best place for us to go, because everything is shifting. And so whether it is the Pac-12, which is what a lot of us always wanted, but I wanted it when USC and UCLA were in it, or maybe it's the Big 12, which never really sounded all that attractive, but it might be the better landing spot. I today am not 100% positive, frankly, but maybe JD Wicker he'll have some something to tell us by the time he comes on next week. So, all right, listen, that's a great story that happened yesterday. Plus, middle of the day yesterday, all this NBA free agency stuff, and I can't get over the numbers, like the numbers, the dollars that NBA players make. And if it's LeBron James and Kevin Durant and the top superstars, I get it. But my God, man, they just give away like $200 million contracts in the NBA like all day long.
Anthony Simons?
I heard of Anthony Hardaway.
Anthony Simons got $100 million deal yesterday.
Who is he?
He's a good young player. He's going to be think Monte Ellis. Remember Monte Ellis?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
He's the guy who kept Steph Curry on the bench for 2 years.
Nope.
I mean, I do. Scott didn't watch basketball until a year and a half ago. Remember?
Yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I started kind of getting into it about 3 years ago when LeBron showed up with the Lakers. And then it took a long time for Alex to kind of get me into it. And then, of course, it took a job in LA for me
now
to
look
really
at you.
Commit to it. Yeah. Yeah, but I'll tell you right now, the Lakers got 4 guys yesterday. I don't know who any of those 4 guys are. None. Seriously.
Won't matter either.
All right. Well, we'll talk about this. We got a lot to get to. So the USC, UCLA, and then how it affects San Diego State is a big story for us. The NBA free agency stuff, not quite as much in San Diego, but I know a lot of people are curious and interested. I know just because of the numbers.
Well, this isn't scheduled, Scott, but real quick,
Yeah.
at what time does the NFL drop the bomb on Deshaun Watson today? Friday news dump on a 3-day weekend.
Yep, that's going to happen. And by the way, those of you who are tuning in right now going, hello, Padres, Dodgers. Yeah, we get it. That too.
City Connect jerseys are out.
Dude, we got so much to get to with the Padres Dodgers last night. So stick around. We're going to get to all of it. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. And I just remind everybody that if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, 7 Mile Casino has blackjack and poker and table games in the casino side, smoke free, by the way. They got Sammy's Restaurant and Bar on the other side. And everybody knows Sammy's Wood Fire Pizza. So great food, great bar. 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego. So if you're looking for an air-conditioned spot to have some fun and it's a smoke-free environment, 7 Mile Casino, 7milecasino.com. And if you have any issues gambling, 1-800-GAMBLER. This is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to take over your life. 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, we are in the 7 Mile Casino studios. Let's get to the Padres, Dodgers, and what happened last night in L.A. next on Cap.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Rome comes home. Yes, I said it. You can now catch the Jim Rome Show Monday through Friday, noon until 3 p.m. on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Back to San Diego, where it all started, on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Please welcome in tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again on Main Street Living.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be back.
So, of course, we have more tax questions for you. First of all, what are the types of business entities that business owners can use?
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd ask this question. So this time of year, this is when, business owners probably just got handed a pretty big tax bill. And so naturally, the next question is, how can they save taxes? How can they save on taxes? And so that's where these business entities really, they may come in. So what we're looking at is corporations or limited liability companies, more commonly called LLCs. So definitely by using either a corporation or an LLC, business owners may be able to really save on taxes. For the most part, when we talk about tax savings, we're looking at like an S Corp election. And so again, an LLC can do that, a corporation can do that. But the net result is you want to save on what's called self-employment tax. So for 2022, a business owner is going to, by default, pay self-employment tax on the first $147,000 of taxable income. So that's 15.3%. By doing an S Corp election, putting yourself on payroll, you can really drive down how much of your income you have to pay that 15.3% at. Beyond the tax savings, it just offers an extra level of protection between the business owner's personal assets, say their home, and their business operation. So, no matter what business you operate, you're going to have some exposure to liability. So an entity like a corporation, like an LLC, it just puts that extra level of protection between the business and then what the owner has on their personal side.
Yeah, well, clearly a plethora of information that you always provide to us, Adam. We appreciate you being on the show. Where can our viewers get in touch with you for more tax help?
Yeah, like always, they can visit my website, triumphovertax.com, or feel free to pick up the phone. You can always give me a call, 619-591-9500.
Main streets are the heart of our communities, where we connect with our neighbors, support local businesses, and share new adventures. Main Street Living celebrates all of this, bringing you uplifting stories with guests from across the country and your community. From our street to your street, Main Street Living, Mondays at 9 on Your View.
Main Street Living celebrates Pride Month in partnership with Subaru of El Cajon, an extraordinary experience for everyone.
Welcome back This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. What's happening Friday afternoon? Kaplan and Crew. It's July 1st. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. We started the show today talking about USC, UCLA leaving for the Big Ten. And as Browner has passionately pointed out, it's not so much that we care about USC and UCLA, even though I find that to be a lot of fun. And I was shocked and caught completely off guard by it. But the more and more you think about it, USC versus Michigan, USC versus Ohio State. I think
big
numbers. And I think that from a football standpoint, it will be more entertaining. It really will. But the question is, what happens to San Diego State? And we are told that J.D. Wicker, the athletic director from San Diego State, will join us next week. So he got a lot to talk about. Brand new stadium, which is opening this year. And then
now became a backstory.
The stadium opens in
a beautiful stadium. It is beautiful. It looks amazing.
2 months
I gave
away.
him a lot of crap for the name. It looks great. It's now a backstory if you do not leave the conference.
Well, USC's not going until 2024, so
you need to announce you're moving ASAP.
Yeah,
you know how many season tickets you'll sell? You know how many season tickets you would sell if Tuesday they come on this show and go, yeah, we out of here. We roll into the Pac-12 big whatever. People will get on the list now for when that comes. Won't be a seat in the house.
Okay.
Won't be a seat in the house.
All right. Brown, I'm with you, man. You gotta make a move quickly.
Yes.
And I'm sure that they were not as caught off guard as the general public was.
That hot couple down the street just got a divorce. Text her, bro. Text her. It's cool.
It's all right. You aren't really friends with her husband anyway?
Right.
Yeah,
He's weird.
Browner,
he walks around the gym naked in the locker room. No, text her, bro. She's up for it.
What? Who's walking around naked in a locker room?
The ex-husband.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because it's weird. To me, it's weird. I hate it. Put some clothes on, bro. All men in here.
What the hell are you talking about?
I know.
Dude?
He's so homophobic.
I'm so
today.
confused.
I know. He's
when you do your analogies, I try to keep up. I really do.
My bad. That one got away from me.
All right. Hey, speaking of getting away from you. All right, listen, let's talk about what happened last night. So yesterday, we're kind of promoting that the Padres versus the Dodgers. The Padres have an opportunity in game one because they've got the advantage in the pitching matchup. Here comes Joe Musgrove, known to some as Average Joe, known to others as Pay That Man.
Known to one.
Yeah.
No, others now. Others is growing, brother. Others is growing.
Really? Do you think that today people are saying, don't pay that man yet? I'm not sure.
I think numbers.
He was really good. His record was really nice. His ERA was low. He was on fire. He had all these quality starts. But hold on, because in the last two, even though the first one we'll kind of write it off because he was coming back from COVID, but now here we are in game two from the return, and the Padres did not win because the stat that everybody was hanging their hat on was, they're 8-0 when he starts games. And are you thinking that today, Joe Musgrove's performance last night at Dodger Stadium is having some people perhaps maybe change their mind about paying that man?
So they went from 8-0 in his starts to 0-2. So now I'm not saying don't pay him. Again, I've never said don't pay him. But what I'm saying is that number's coming down to earth. Because you go out and you hold the Dodgers to a run and you find a way to get a second run and you win that game. Now we in business because this is the team you're going to have to beat. And if he's going to be the ace, he's going to be the guy. This is how you earn your money in games like these. Not saying that he was bad because he wasn't bad, but
he was very good.
Average.
He was very good.
He was average, huh?
He was very good. When you watch that game, if you leave that game and you think Joe Musgrove's a problem, then you don't know anything about baseball.
Not saying that he's the problem. I'm
like, so you watched
about that person in particular.
7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts. Yeah, 2 home runs.
Keep going. Yep.
3 earned runs against the Dodgers, who have the best offense in the National League. That's nothing in 7 innings. I've been saying it all year long. You start to face good pitchers, and they weren't even facing a good pitcher yesterday. But you can't capitalize. You can't bring the guys in. You score 1 in the first inning and then nothing against the Dodgers' 8th starter. So I get it. Yeah, he took the L, but you're not going to beat the Dodgers. I would say you would beat the Dodgers scoring 1 run 0 out of 100 times.
Who do you put more on? I mean, are you putting this loss, Browner? Because again, he did. He gave up 2 home runs. The first one early in the game to Justin Turner, a solo home run, and then one later in the game when he gave up a 2-run shot. So for those of you that are listening on radio, we're watching it all right now. So for those of you that are watching on YouTube and watching on TV, we're just taking a look at it right now. You give up a solo home run, it's no big deal. But later in the game, the 2-run shot, that was the one that really hurt. But you pitch 7 innings, 3 earned runs against the top offense in the National League.
10 strikeouts.
You get 10 strikeouts and you get 1 run. You get 1. There's no support other than 1 run. And the reason, by the way, that the Padres don't win a game like last night, besides the obvious that they didn't score any runs, is the whole momentum. The Dodgers and the stadium was electric last night. Place seemed packed. Turner's home runs brought the place to their feet. But the throw, when the Padres had the bases loaded, and Taylor, who's in right field for Mookie Betts, makes that catch. And, I mean, it almost looked effortless. He threw this ball, I think they said it was like 97 miles an hour. And one-hopped it. Perfect throw and tag and play at home. And just all the momentum, all the big plays of the night, all the Dodgers.
You know who I'm out on?
You see that play in right field, by the way?
Yeah.
You got that play forever? Can we see that?
I don't have that play.
You don't have that play? It's too bad. I saw it all over social media.
It's a great play.
Anyway, whatever. What were you saying, Alex?
I'm out on Trent Grisham. He can go too.
Again?
What do you mean again? I haven't like buried him yet, but I think on
the start of the season you were like, no, Trent Grisham's not an everyday outfielder.
No, I said Profar's not. But he's
okay.
proven me wrong.
Okay.
Grisham,
so,
everybody's like, oh,
Grisham.
his defense. You see that play yesterday? He's a great base runner. You see him get thrown out at home yesterday? You're hitting what? 150? And it's July? And you play every day? Yeah, you got to go.
You know who has benefited
go
from playing every day? CJ Abrams. It's coming. I can see it. It's coming. It's coming. But
are you saying
was
it's
a great
coming?
play. The guy got thrown out. CJ Abrams.
Yeah, you're saying it's coming. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming.
It's coming.
You can see it.
I see it.
It's coming.
I see it.
It's coming.
It's
oh,
coming.
By the way, didn't I was also right yesterday.
About what?
Machado's going to play every day, 4 at-bats a game. I mean, they were 3 strikeouts, but a little rust. He hadn't swung a bat.
Yeah.
Got that RBI right off the bat.
Hey, look,
anybody freak out, though? When he hit that double, I was like, oh, you see him running? And you're like, oh, no. And then he slid in a second. You're like, oh, what are you doing? You're like, oh, stop.
He had to show y'all he was healthy. He's like, I'm healthy. Look at this.
Yeah. I didn't believe it necessarily, but I give him credit. He got those 4 at-bats yesterday. And look, you're right. Struck out 3 times. But
looks solid.
In the end, last night was the Padres' opportunity to start this series off right. They got from Musgrove what they wanted, what they'd hoped, what they'd expected. Bob Melvin after the game said something like, hey, he's our best guy. And he pitched his ass off out there. And if not for 2 mistakes, by the way, against a guy who just all of a sudden has heated up.
Who always heats up against the Padres.
2 bad pitches.
Kryptonite.
And why can the Padres not support a pitching performance like that? So here's all I'm saying is this. I still say pay that man. I still say Musgrove is your best pitcher right now. And you should be paying him and you should be locking him up long term. Joe Musgrove takes the L statistically, but he had a great performance and got no runs.
I've seen him now live in San Francisco where he was amazing. I see him last night where it wasn't amazing, but he was very good. And something else that I never really put much thought into, but none of these spotlights are too big for him. He's not shying away from everyone telling him that he's the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not trying to
his
take shine
is
off himself.
consistency.
Right.
His strength is consistency. Yes.
And he's not afraid of these moments. He's not afraid to go, like tonight. We'll see. And on Sunday, we'll see with the two lefties. But I think when you see him yesterday, he was striking out the side. He was like whiffing guys left and right. Yeah, he threw two terrible pitches and he got punished. That's what really good offenses do. That's what really good offenses do to any pitcher. You throw a 92-mile fastball down the middle, chances are someone like Justin Turner's going to hit a home run. That's what really good hitters do. He had two terrible pitches and he got punished terribly. But he also had 10 strikeouts. He went 7 innings. And he did it in Los Angeles. And my buddy was there. He said it was like 95 degrees. He was doing great.
Browner, you have a look on your face to me, and here's what the face says. Because as Alex said yesterday, you don't really have a poker face. You like to wear the emotions on the face itself, not on the sleeve, on the face. Your face says to me, I told you guys, he's not as good as his record was. They won all those games when he started, and all those numbers looked really, really nice. But Joe Musgrove's not as good as you guys were hyping him up to be. Like, that's what your face is telling me.
All I have said from the very beginning is if you want to be the $20 million guy, which I just don't think he is, these are the games that you have to prove it.
He didn't prove it.
Again, I'll take the COVID game, the bounce back from the COVID game. I don't even count that game because anybody coming back from COVID, you don't know what they're going to be. Last night, again, I'm not saying he was bad because I want to be very clear about this. I'm not saying that he is bad. Alex says he always rises to the moment. I agree because he is assured of who he is. He knows what he can do. So he never gets out of himself. That's why he's consistent in big moments. But consistent is not enough against that team. Yeah, he made 2 bad pitches. 2 bad pitches at the wrong time, and those were the difference. And that's what I'm saying.
Has had 1 bad outing. Yesterday, still a quality start.
Yes.
And I know it's a talking point. I know it's a joke on the show. No, we have shirts about it on the show. But really, how many times we come on here and be like, this offense. It's not just against the Dodgers. It's been against the Diamondbacks. It's been against the Rockies.
All of my social media, every bit of my social media is Padre fans hitting me up with, what is AJ Preller doing?
You have to.
Why is he not going out and finding a bat? And here's what I tell everybody:
waiting for Tatis.
That's right. I think that they are making a mistake in waiting for Tatis to come back rather than trying to. Well, here's the thing: you can hope that Tatis comes back. You don't have a guarantee that he's coming back as quickly as you might need him. But secondly, you don't know if Tatis is going to be Tatis immediately. So if, let's just say, like Manny Machado, a little rusty after 10 games off and goes 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. What if Tatis is not back to who he is and it takes 6 weeks? He may come out and do the spectacular like he has, where he's come back from injury and hit a home run in his first at bat. That we've seen that. But if Tatis needs time, but if he needs time because he didn't have any spring and he hasn't played any games, all the times he's come back from injury.
So, like, how much baseball was he playing while he was riding motorcycles?
Also very true.
All I'm saying is that if you're hoping that Tatis is going to come back and immediately be who he's been, I'm not saying he won't be. I'm just saying that's a risk. That's a big risk. When he comes back from injury and he plays really well, he missed 3 games, 5 games, 7 games, 10 games, whatever. He's in the middle of the season. He's in baseball shape. You're expecting Tatis to come back, and the day that he comes back, you're expecting him to be in mid-season form. I think that's a big risk. And so when people hit me up in social media and they go, dude, what is AJ Preller doing? This team desperately needs offense. Why is he not making a move? I tell everybody the same thing. Dude, his strategy is Tatis will come back and carry us. Better hope.
I mean, that's gotta be the point. You're hoping that you bring back a guy who can hit you 20 home runs in the second half. That'll help supplement the power. That'll help the lineup up and down it. You would hope Hosmer can continue to be between 250 and 280. And you hope you can ride with that. Obviously, Machado's been great. You get Profar, you get guys here and there. Maybe Will Myers will come back and give you something.
Who cares about that? Mazzara's way better. Mazzara's actually way better than Will Myers.
I think, well, you keep Mazzara out there and you put Will Myers now in left field. He's been all over the place anyway, so it doesn't matter. For me, finding another bat.
I'm still trying to trade Will Myers.
It's important. Nobody taking that money.
Most important
contract. It's securing the bullpen, because that is my worry. Because if you do get Tatis back healthy and acting like Tatis, he can give you 20 home runs in the second half. It won't matter if you blow it between the 7th inning and the 9th inning. So I think that's where they're going to need more help than at the bats, because they have shown they can score runs here and there.
Oh my God!
But it's just not consistent enough.
See, but you're like the other side of this, the here and there, and the let's see and let's hope and hope and hope and hope and hope and hope and hope and
if and if and if and if and if and if.
There's, you just said so many things as to why AJ Preller needs to go make moves, not moves.
And get
moves.
Okay. Get who?
An outfielder?
Oh, dude, if you want to get real specific about who they should go get, my answer is they're baseball general managers. Okay. Tell me who you get, show me the numbers, and tell me how he's going to be better than what you've got. But in terms of me answering the question, who are they going to go out and get? My answer is I'm not
asking you. I'm just saying in general, who they're going to get. Like, who they're going to get that's going to help them that either of us would recognize, right? Let's say they trade for somebody
you guys didn't even know Joe Musgrove won a World Series, so you two aren't really the best like access point.
I'm totally not that guy. I mean, I'm willing to admit it on radio. I'm willing to admit it on television, and I'm willing to admit it on every platform that we're on right now.
Are you basically saying don't try because we're not going to know them?
No,
I'm saying.
I'm telling you right now, I have no answer for you. I have no answer for you. I do not have one concept. I don't have one idea. I'm in this fantasy football or fantasy baseball league. I hate it. I hate making the moves. I hate making the transactions. In fact, I can't even do it. I hate doing it. I hate looking at all the players. So I guess what I'm saying to you is I don't study baseball that way. I don't have one answer for you as to who they should go out and get. But here's what I do know. Their offense needs more power. They need to score more runs. So if AJ Preller is some baseball savant, go figure out who it is, how they fit, why you need them, and then go make a deal. Don't ask me because I don't freaking know.
Josh Bell of the Washington Nationals, who the Nationals are about to give Juan Soto $425 million, and they stink. Josh Bell is a perfect guy. I've seen that name floated around. Brian Reynolds of the Pirates, another outfielder who's already got 15, 16 home runs this year. Another guy. There's guys out there, Browner, that would immediately make your team better. So to say, like, who are you going to get? Players that are better. Trent Grisham's hitting 160. 160. You can't go get a guy. It doesn't matter if you know him or not. You can't go get a guy that's better than 160.
We traded for an all-star last year. That flamed out.
Well, you traded for an all-star last year
at a position you didn't need. Going to get somebody from another team does not guarantee that they will come here and perform in the way that they performed somewhere else.
Does not guarantee.
Okay. And everything that you said for a 60-second ramble about none of that's guaranteed either.
But you have more knowledge based on that. You have more. You know what you know. Will Myers has given you success in the Padres uniform.
What success are you talking about?
1 year,
the 60-game season, he was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna need. By the time he comes back, you're gonna need him to give you 60 games.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mazzar, you get Myers back, you get Tatis back. That's power. If that's adds to the lineup.
If that's your strategy to win, then great. I think they should make a move. I think they should try and bring in more offense. And I think as far as understanding what players are, hey, I watch that guy every day, Will Myers, but I don't need to watch that guy every day. I can see what the numbers are, and I can watch the film. All right, listen, hold on a second, everybody. I want to just say that
Will Myers.
I know. Will Myers is your –
I'm going to look at this guy's stats you talk about. What was his name? Jordan Bell? Bell what?
Josh Bell.
Josh Bell. Let me look this.
Yeah, you look him up. I'm going to talk about some other things here for a second. I want to say this.
Yourself out.
It is the grilling season. So I want to make two suggestions for you. A couple things.
July weekend.
4th of July weekend. If you don't have plans, I'm sure at some point your plans are going to include being at a barbecue, watching people grill some stuff up. Maybe you're going to be the grill master yourself. Anything you need for grilling, I want you to go to West Coast BBQ Shop down in Chula Vista. And if you can't make it down there, you can use their website, westcoastbbqshop.com. We just had that big event a few weeks ago, Egg Fest, and a lot of people bought Big Green Eggs. Well, if you're one of those people and you say, well, what am I going to put on the Big Green Egg this weekend? Go see Brian. He's got a refrigerator filled with really, really super high-end meats like tomahawk steaks and like New York strips and fillets. I mean, just really high-end stuff. So whether it's sauces or spices or hardware or meats, anything for grilling, West Coast BBQ Shop, westcoastbbqshop.com. As Browner's researching potential outfielders, Alex, just give show everybody what's coming up tonight.
Reynolds is batting 258.
It's better than 160, isn't it? It's like 100 points better. All right, this is tonight's game. Hey, Blake Snell, this would be a good time to kind of show up, don't you think? I mean, the Padres got a great pitching performance last night, got no run support. Blake Snell has been Zippo for the Padres so far this year. He's going up against their best pitcher, Tony Gonsolin. Our guy's 0-5, their guy's 9-0. Padres are 0-7 in Snell starts.
Yikes. Brian Reynolds would also lead the Padres in home runs, but don't let that get in the way.
Yeah, that's not important. It's not a good metric to use.
Nope.
All right, listen, stick around.
That's why we went out and got Luke Voigt, and then we complained about him striking out.
All right, coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Lots more Padres Dodgers. And what's going on with the Padres and this new city look uniform? We'll get there. Coming up, this is Kaplan and crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
You're listening to the 50,000-watt Powerhouse, bringing you the new generation of radio up and down all of California with a little bit of attitude. This is SoCal Sports Talk, the all-new and mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westville High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Southwest Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
I thought I was okay. I had a degree, I had work experience. I should be able to provide for my kids. But they're just things that you don't plan on in life.
My husband got laid off and we are a family of 5.
My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I would ask the doctors, what can I do? And they would just say, just make sure she's eating. Our lives just changed completely. Thank God that we always had a plate of food.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Kaplan and Crew tonight presents Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi, this is Pete Gray with this week's Fish Report, and a lot going on in Southern California here as summer begins, and it's time to go fishing. Calico bass fishing, fantastic along the coast, all the way up into LA and Orange County and San Diego, all the way down to Coronado Islands. Yellowtail fishing, also fantastic in certain spots, and there's some big grade yellowtail out around La Jolla and such like that, and then even on the kelp patties offshore. And also some pretty good white sea bass action too at Catalina, San Clemente Island, as well as the Coronado Islands and along the coast too. So it's time to go fishing, and there's also bluefin tuna too. So you want to go fishing, time to get out there and go. And this weekend on Let's Talk Hookup, we have a couple of great shows for you. So tune in on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio and the Let's Talk Hookup app. We'll have a lot of exciting stuff this weekend for you. So be sure to tune in and listen to Let's Talk Hookup.
Let's Talk Hookup airs on the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View.
Oh, shit. It's actually 6 minutes.
Okay, here we go. Hey, great friends. Those of you who are watching on Cox, on Channel 4 San Diego, Channel 4 Santa Barbara, or anywhere in Southern California on the Cox Your View network, we had been promoting for a long time Egg Fest down in Chula Vista. And on the weekend of, let's see, it was June 12th, Sunday, June 12th. That's when the event went down. So Grande Brown Man, let's show all of the Cox viewers what they missed. Did you guys have fun? This was a great event. I loved it.
More importantly, there was lots of food, lots and lots and lots of food.
Yeah. But there were also a lot of listeners that came down.
A lot of listeners, yeah.
A lot of listeners who live in the South Bay area that were like, hey, I knew you guys were going to be nearby, so I came over. And by the way, here's one thing that's interesting. Not only were there a lot of listeners, a lot of female listeners, which I thought was super cool. And what I hear from the ladies is, I love it when you guys talk sports, but I really love it even more when you guys aren't talking sports.
Yeah, it's when you bring, this much sex appeal to a show, you get a different audience, Scott,
Facts.
I know.
Facts.
Sexy.
I mean, look at these three mugs,
Totally.
That saying face for radio doesn't apply here.
Hey, there was one lady that showed up, 62 years old, white woman. All she wanted to do was talk about how Browner's her boyfriend. And I'm like, see, Brown? I'm like, this is your demo, man.
That's right.
Alex, show us, what are we going to take a look at? So this is exclusive for Cox. I mean, we'll talk about this on air, but this is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox Channel 4 in Your View. What are we going to look at here first, Alex?
What do you want to look at first? You have Browner being a drone videographer. You have pictures of food. You have we talked to Brian after.
All right, let's do this. Let's start off with food, because that's what Egg Fest was really all about. It was all about the food, right? So what are you going to show us here? Let's take a look.
This stole the show, right? I mean, you gotta.
Right. Yeah. Pig on the big green egg, which, to me doesn't look great, but it was pretty damn good. No, it doesn't look good.
Oh, it looks, when I walked in, that was the first thing I saw. I walked in to the left. This guy had that big green egg wide open. I was like, well, I know where I'm camping. This is where I'm going right here.
I couldn't eat it, man. It was too much. It was too close to looking like a real pig, man.
Well, it was a real pig.
What was a real pig?
I like to eat my food anonymously. I don't like it. I don't like to look at it and then put it in my mouth. I couldn't do that.
When I get a burger, it's just a burger. I
Right.
don't need to see the
Right.
cow
It's
that
not a
it came
cow,
from.
bro.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't eat it, man.
Any
I'm sorry,
other
Pig Lee.
any other food shots that we should take a look at? Because you like the pig. We didn't really love the pig.
Did you guys end up trying the bacon wrapped Oreo?
I did not try the bacon wrapped Oreo, but I think on the right side here, there's a bacon wrapped piece of chicken. Is that what that is?
No, it was a pork belly.
Oh, that's the pork belly. Oh, and what's that little sandwich you got going there?
Pulled pork sandwich.
Dude, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
That looks really good.
You know what's funny is that this whole time you just keep going from tent to tent to tent to tent, eating. I didn't take any pictures at all. Like the only reason I took a picture of the bacon wrapped Oreo was because I was going to text it to my lady. I was like, dude, they got bacon wrapped Oreos here.
You said they were pretty bomb though.
Okay, so it's really it was confusing. It really was confusing. You take a bite and your mouth is like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? And then the more you eat it, you're like, yeah, this is actually fantastic.
How about
bacon wrapped Oreo?
How about any pictures? Any pictures you got, Alex, of us with lots of listeners that were down? Because that was fun. That to me was a lot of fun. Hanging out with great friends. Oh, look at this crew right here. This is a great crew. Fat Tony's in the house. Tommy. This couple right here, they're wonderful. I love these two to my left. And then my friend Suzanne is on the far left. But this is a really wonderful couple, drinking beers, supporting. That was great. Anybody else? Anybody else? Oh, this lady right here. She works for the county of San Diego. What a sweetheart she is. She gave me her phone number. I went to text her to give her my phone number, and she gave me a landline. So I maybe I put the wrong phone number in. I don't know. Who else?
Girlfriend?
Oh, Browner's girlfriend. This woman. She's like, I
Sup,
love
boo?
Browner.
Sup, boo?
That's your girl, huh, Brown?
Yeah, that's my girl right there. Shout out.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. She gave me her Instagram.
Her husband
handle.
understand.
Her husband was like, I get it. That's Cheryl Delaney, by the way.
Her
Cheryl
husband
Delaney.
was like, take her.
Hey, Alex, show us the video. I know I talked to Brian a little bit. He was super excited about how the day went down. Show us that video if you could. Let's take a look.
Yo, so we promoted Eggfest for a long time. And today, Brian Bushfield, what do you think?
Huge success. Big. Look at it. We got 20 chefs, 40 eggs.
20 chefs, 40 eggs. We're walking in circles.
Tailing off. We would have been here an hour ago. We couldn't have done this video. There were so many people. Beer garden, huge success.
Yeah, and we did so much of the promotion besides radio was exclusive on Cox. So for everybody that's watching on Cox, dude, way to come out and support. Nice.
Right. And I mean, if you're thinking about advertising, Scott, Kaplan and crew, Cox Cable, way to go.
Thank you for that. All right, instant.
Unsolicited. There you go. Thank you, Brian.
Unsolicited.
God, I'm fat. I got to lose weight. I need to lose.
Come
15
on, man. That's what you saw.
Dude, I got to lose 15 to 20 pounds. Hey, look, bottom line is this. To all the Cox Your View viewers out there, we really appreciate your support. And we'll keep on doing this where there's just Cox exclusive content.
We are very proud to announce that the Mightier 1090 is SoCal's newest ESPN affiliate. Introducing the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. One of the largest radio stations in North America just got bigger and better. Joining forces with the worldwide leader of sports, ESPN. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
What keeps me coming back is just learning more about myself in the classroom, and as I learn more about myself, I can share more about myself with my students, and I can open up more and care more and love more and teach more by example.
Teaching is just one of those things that if you have a heart for it, you've found your place, and I have found my place. I get to help little people realize what it means to learn something for the first time, and that's something like reading that will be with them for the rest of their lives.
Still a little bit overwhelmed, maybe a little bit surprised. You know, you don't go into teaching for awards, you go into teaching because you sincerely believe you can make a difference in young people's lives, and that's kind of what got me into the field in the first place.
We use our phones to order our food,
catch a ride, share our stories, and so much more. SDCCU made banking from your mobile device easy, too. You can do so much. Get up-to-date account balances, check on pending deposits, transfer money, deposit checks, and more. Safely and securely, all through the convenience of your smartphone. SDCCU. It's not big bank banking. It's better.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.